Yes, what a match last night. Ashley Westwood, a close affair, as we had perhaps expected. But some nice football on show, and not just that ugly physical battle that many had predicted in this match.
No, we always knew it was going to be finer margins in the game. Portugal have been fairly defensive throughout the campaign, and even going back to the Euros that they won. Like I say, lots of commitment, which is what you guaranteed from the Uruguayan players. I can still picture Teixeira, heading one on the floor, just trying to get his head in the way with the block. So the kind of passion you was seeing. But I think Portugal's luck just finally ran out. I don't think they've done enough to influence games and score enough goals. And I was always expected Uruguay just to pip them. As it happened, obviously Uruguay take the lead and go a little bit defensive and invite Portugal onto them. But I always thought Uruguay had enough with the two strikers.
Eugene, it was quite a frenetic start to the match, wasn't it? Ronaldo had an early chance, but a beautiful goal and great link-up play between Luis Suarez and Edinson Cavani. And this is what Uruguay are about. Their two star men up front, they really shoulder the goal-scoring responsibilities in this team.
Yeah, a very beautiful goal indeed. They looked very threatening whenever they got the ball up front, and they were very energetic. And you hardly see two strikers playing that way, you combine so well and complement each other.
That partnership, Ashley, was perhaps a great reflection of what Portugal are missing, don't they? That sort of awareness about where the other players are, in the team and their movements, that creative link-up play. It's been missing from a Portugal sense for the entire tournament.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think what you have with Uruguay is you have two centre-forwards that kind of are fairly similar. They like to at times play on the last line of the defence. They like to run the channels and they like to show their energy and their fitness. They cover the whole width of the pitch, if you like. At times you'll see Cavani on the left-hand side, Suarez wide on the right, and vice versa. Incidentally, Cavani's goal came when he was the furthest player on the left-hand side, cuts inside on his right foot, and Suarez was the one that provided the cross for Cavani when he was wide on the left-hand side. So they do cover a lot of ground, and with Portugal it's more of an old-fashioned two strikers, if you like. Well, one drops a little bit deeper and one plays a little bit further up. They don't cover the same width and the same ground as what the Uruguayan players do.
Eugene, you would have particularly enjoyed that second goal from Cavani, because as a player it's a difficult strike to execute, but he did it to perfection, didn't he?
The ball did line up very well for him, and obviously the keeper did help his cause, but the technique and the finish was brilliant.
Sad though, seeing Cavani leave the pitch, with what appears to be a hamstring injury. He might pretty much be ruled out of the tournament.
Yeah, it would be sad for him. I think he was very dynamic yesterday. I thought he would be very good for them going to the quarterfinals, and the way he's been performing, linking up with Suarez, they look like a force that could be very difficult to handle, and it would be a shame if he would miss it.
Big loss, do you think, from Uruguay's perspective, Ashley?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I looked at it and straight away you can tell that he's tore a muscle. I think it was the calf muscle just below his knee, and he limped off the pitch, which is always a bad sign. Normally when you do a minor muscle injury, you can walk unhindered. And you see him getting helped off Cristiano Ronaldo. We went to the physio and he made the signal that he'd pulled a muscle. So for me, that's a minimum 3 weeks, probably 4 weeks out. And I would put as much money as you want that his tournament is over.
A great defensive display from Uruguay. We had expected them to be solid at the back, but it wasn't just the centre-backs, was it? They defended well as a team. And perhaps, Ashley, you can show us on the board how it is that Uruguay managed to negate whatever little attacking threat Portugal had throughout the match. Yeah,
to be honest, both teams lined up what we thought would be a 4-4-2, both at the same time. Obviously, we've spoke about Cavani and Suarez's positions, running wide, running in the channels and complementing each other. But I think, obviously, once they scored the second goal, Uruguay, it was more about the defensive shape. And it looks a little bit of a mess. It looks tight, but that's how they wanted it to be. So they had four, obviously, defenders in the back four, playing nice and narrow. But the big secret about that really was how deep they played. If the ball is in the opposition's half, at times you would see the back four almost camped on the edge of their own box, which is why they were hard to break down. They were happy to concede the ball wide. If it was to go into a fullback, all of a sudden the ball, you know, into a wide play, you'd get a full-back overlapping down the outside, and inevitably crosses were going into the box. But when crosses came into the box, all the back four dropped. The two central midfielders, they sat on top of each other, mopping up the second balls, and it was really just mark your men in the box and defend. They did score one goal, which was a cross into the box, and Pepe got free, but that was more or less the secret of their makeup. The two wide players dropped as well at times, and they defended in a nice tight 8. One of the centre forwards dropped in, and they just tried to make it compact. Tierra was really key, sitting in front of the back four. He would contest every single loose ball. You know, if the ball was to be crossed into the box and headed out into midfield, all of a sudden he would go and apply pressure no matter where that ball came. The reason they ended up being camped in their own half is because they just left Suarez up front on his own, and they found it difficult when they did get the ball to find him. So they found it always coming straight back, but because they were deep, because they had numbers in and around the box, they defended really, really well.
Eugene, very solid performance, you know, from Uruguay. Compact, you know, hard-working sort of display. And this is now a team that nobody would want to face in the tournament, not even France, after what we saw them do against Argentina yesterday. Yeah,
like coach has just showed you, they're a team will be very tough to break down. So the moment they are a goal up, it'll be very tough to break them down. And going up front, counter-attack, they got Suarez, who can really keep the ball, who will fight for the ball. Unlike, I'm sad to say that Cavani will be out. So I feel they'll be a very tough team to beat.
Ashley, do you sort of agree with that? France will find it really hard to break this team down?
I think they will, but I think if they try and defend as deep as they did against France, France have got a little bit more quality. The other plus side of France is you see Uruguay like to attack as well. So when they do come out of their hole, all of a sudden France have that pace with Mbappe on the counter attack to really hurt teams. There isn't a lot of pace in the back four of the Uruguay side. The fullback's fairly quick, Laxic, but the two central defenders aren't the quickest, so that might be an area that France can attack. And I think the more Uruguay stay into the game, the more you might see France try and hit them on the break. So it'll be a tough game for Uruguay, and I think France have just got the edge with the personnel.